Look, I'm a financial advisor, and can we just address the elephant in the room? There's a bunch of bad financial advice out there, and it's got to stop. Stuff like this.
Short interest in GameStop.
At this GameStop.
Americans can rest assured that our banking system is safe.
The key contributors to the 2008 global financial crisis.
If the rules say sell, you sell it.
Now, it's got to stop because when people get bad advice, bad things typically happen. Today, I'm going to talk about the 2 things that the financial services industry can do to fix this big problem. And I want you to stick around to the end because I'm going to provide you with an example on how to render financial advice with this viewer question. Let's go. Hey there, it's Don with the RIA Launch Academy and founder of the 10 Steps to a 6-Figure Financial Services Firm. I help my clients break away from the broken dealer. And because I consider myself sort of a watchman for protecting the ethics and the morality of the financial advice industry, one that I've been a part of for almost 26 years, I want to address something. Bad advice. Now, there are 2 reasons that advice is so bad, and one of them is because the rules are stale. The question is, what can be done about that? Well, the standard is going to have to change. And what do I mean by that? Currently, the prevailing legislation for the financial services industry was passed in, get this, 1940, and a lot has changed since then. Okay, maybe it wasn't that far back, but because of technology, we've seen a lot of advancement that the financial services industry has not caught up to. This just means that the rules that applied in 1940 need to be updated to apply to the 21st century. Now, there has only been a handful of ideas submitted mostly at the state level to address things like social media platforms, which is a big one. And something you probably didn't know is that even licensed advice givers like myself are held to standards that may apply at the federal level or the state level, often causing a lot of confusion when it comes to compliance. Now, this all points to the second thing that the financial advice industry can do to cut down on bad advice, and that is to raise the standard. There should be some globally recognized standard that all advice givers should be held to, no matter what their specialty, whether that be insurance, taxes, investments, or even budgeting. Because there are so many specialties, many financial gurus kind of slide under the radar by saying they aren't giving investment advice and therefore they don't require to be licensed.
Wrong portfolio, but you probably could have gone even inside of those 4 portfolios, meaning they had a low risk, a medium risk, and a high risk, or something like that. And that high risk would have had a group of mutual funds in it that would have sounded a lot like what we tell you to do, and you would have done a lot better had you been in that versus the one you were in.
But come on, doesn't this sound like giving investment advice? Now, this person isn't licensed, and I know this because I can go check this website to make sure. If it were mandatory that you were licensed before giving advice to the public, or else you'd be fined, then we might cut down on the random, errant advice giving. Now, I've spent a lot of time explaining what could be done better, but I would be remiss if I didn't provide an example of how I think advice should be rendered and how dozens of my colleagues are doing it the right way. I received this question on my YouTube channel from a video I did about the retirement provider 𝐃𝐸. Here was the question from Dr. 𝐂𝐮. They told me that I have $30,000 in my 𝐃𝐸 that accumulated during the time when I taught as a professor at universities. I am now retired, and so what do you recommend I do with this money? Also, how do I find out if the funds are earning any dividends? I look forward to hearing from you. F. 𝐂𝐮. Now, first of all, I just want to thank Mr. 𝐂𝐮 for taking the time to write in. But as a financial advisor and fiduciary, I don't have enough context, like how much Mr. 𝐂𝐮 is worth, or what his tolerance for risk is, or what his income level is. Just some of the factors in determining how he should be invested. I can't tell him what to do, not in good conscience or good faith. So the best answer would be for him to have some time that he schedules with me or a professional like myself to ask those questions and obtain more information and then go from there. And to be honest, that is the right course of action in most cases, especially when it comes to rendering advice on a public platform like YouTube. As a financial professional that realized that the financial services industry is doing a bad job, you now might want to know what you can do in order to make it better. I've actually created an entire experience for financial professionals called my RIA Launch Academy, where you'll discover everything it takes to run a financial services firm. If you're interested in that, click the link down below. Otherwise, click on the next video to learn the 10 questions all financial professionals need to be asking. I'm Dominique, and I'll see you in the next video.